Port St. Lucie, Florida, at the Mets minor league complex, and we're joined by Mets first-round pick Colin Houck. Colin, how you doing today, and how's your experience been in the Mets player development system so far?
I'm doing good, and my experience has been awesome. I've loved every day here, and just being able to get better and follow, chase that dream is awesome.
So let's go back to draft day. Just walk us through it, the whole day, the morning leading up, and then the moment where you finally heard your name called, the Mets call you, and you become a member of the New York Mets organization.
Well, the day was obviously very stressful for me and my family. My mom was, setting everything up for the party and stuff like that. I was just trying to, relax and kind of take it all in. Drafts are unexpected things. You could be projected here, you could be projected there, but in the end, it might not fall how you want to. And but I'm blessed to be here with the Mets. And when they called me, it was just like the huge sigh of relief. I'm gonna be a Met. So. What kind
of spread did Mom put out for the party?
So I think we got like pub subs, like the trays. So they were good. They went by pretty fast.
What kind? Because I know the chicken tender one is the popular one.
No, that's a lead. You're leading.
I think it was the ham and cheese. Ham and cheese and the turkeys.
So that would be a cold cut.
That's a cold cut. All right.
Yeah. Are you a cold cut or a cutlets guy?
Cold cut.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well. we ask everyone that question. Usually we save that later, but I guess it was.
Well, it came up so
natural
soon.
transition.
Yeah. After you get drafted, you go to Citi Field with a few other of this year's draft class. Yeah. But you got a moment to meet some of the major league Mets. Do you want to talk about what that was like and who you got to meet?
Yeah, it was really cool. Obviously there's big names walking around. I got to meet Francisco Lindor. Obviously, I've loved watching him growing up. He does some crazy stuff on the field. Jeff McNeil. It was a bunch of different guys that were. Obviously I didn't get a long chat with them. They're doing their job, but being able to meet those guys is really cool.
So after that, you signed your contract. You come down here to Port St. Lucie, and you start playing for the FCL Mets. So what was that like, getting a cup of coffee, getting a taste of professional baseball, especially so quickly after you were drafted out of high school?
Mm-hmm. It was fun. Just being able to play again was really fun. Obviously, the competition's a lot better than high school, and that's expected. Mm-hmm. So kind of getting my feet wet and getting that experience, is really important, and I think I benefited from it, and I'm going to get a lot better now. So.
Now you went to Parkview High School. A bunch of major leaguers went to Parkview High School, actually, and one specifically is Atlanta Brave Matt Olson. Now, I heard you say that you took some BP with Matt a few times. Do you have any insight he gave you when you were doing that? And Mets fans, sorry, we got to ask. It's a name.
So Matt and I are with the same agency. We have the same agent. So me hitting with him was it was easy just because he's in Atlanta now and that's where I'm from. So it was just it worked. I hit with him a few times. He didn't really give me too much insight. It's the same thing. He's just there getting better, and I'm there working with him. So it was definitely cool. We talked a little trash to each other about different teams in high school where he told me and my teammate at the time that he could go CG shutout against our high school team at the time. I told him he's crazy. It's stuff like that. It was fun to be with him. So.
Another Parkview alum, Jeff Francoeur, who has something in common with you. You were a great football player as well as baseball. What kind of relationship do you have with Jeff Francoeur, former Met?
So he was around for some of the football games. I met him a couple times in some of the All-Star Awards in Atlanta. But he's a legend at Parkview. He's a legend everywhere. He's a really nice guy, and I haven't had a chance to have a super long conversation with him. But every time I've met him, he's been super nice. So
most high schoolers finish high school, their parents drop them off at college for the first day of school.
Yeah.
You got dropped off by your father here at Port St. Lucie at the Mets facility.
Yeah.
What's that like? Because a lot of people college is that 4-year transition to adulthood.
Yeah.
For you, it was what, one night basically?
Yeah, one night, all right, have fun, and then that's it. So it was a little different. So my dad and I drove from Atlanta, so it wasn't a terrible drive, but it was fun. So we get here, and it's kind of like I got in my room and I was like, okay, what now? I'm here, and So that first night was a little different. I met my roommate in New York, AJ Ewing. So we had already known each other, so we were just kind of experiencing that together. And it's obviously a lot easier now. I'm here for a month and a half now. So, but no, it's a little different. It's fun, and I'm blessed.
So whenever we know that guys are roommates, we always like to ask each other, or one guy about the other. So we'll ask you for a little something on AJ, maybe a funny little story about him, and then we're going to ask AJ the same about you. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
What you got for us?
Just about some funny stuff.
Yeah.
So I brought my PlayStation.
PS5.
Here. That's PS5. So that's
We're all respectful adults. So of course it's a PS5.
right.
They're tough to get.
They are.
What year is
But
this? Are they still tough to get?
Are they still tough to get, or can you just walk into a Best Buy now?
That's
I got
part of the
mine
story.
off Twitter in 2020.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
You had to work. It was like a full-time job to get a PS5 for a while.
It really was. So anyway, so I brought my PlayStation. Obviously, the first couple of days we're playing together, and then AJ, he's like, I need my own PlayStation.
Oh.
And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. Let's go to Walmart. And I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. And Boston Baro, he's also hanging out with us a lot. He's like, yeah, I should get one too. I was like, you guys are crazy. So we go to Walmart and we go pick up 2 PS5s, and then I think AJ set it up in our room. They had to get a monitor. They had to get a whole bunch of stuff. But it ended up being three PS5s in one room. We just had our own little setup. And it was like, what are we doing? But
yeah, why? Like,
What's the benefit?
Can you get 3 controllers or 4 controllers?
I mean, it comes with the PS5.
No, he means like
I know.
He
Just
means like why couldn't you each have your own, just on one TV? With one
yeah.
I mean, because you can't play MLB with 3 guys. With 3
Oh, so your point, that was my next question. What are you guys running?
Yeah, we're running MLB. I Call of Duty, Fortnite, kind of the usual stuff.
MLB The Show. What's it like to see yourself in the game?
Oh my gosh, it was. I didn't know it was coming. So we did the thing at the combine where they scanned your face, and like you get your own real 99 card if you get drafted. And I was like, cool. So I knew that I would get my own card for the real 99, but it would only be mine. And then my friend texted me when my first night in New York when we were doing the physicals, and he sent me a picture. He's like, yo, you're in the game. And I was like, what do you mean? He sent me a picture. He's like, you're in MLB The Show. And I was like, that's sick. And so as soon as I got home, I had to get myself. So I got myself, put myself on the team. And so
on the Mets?
Of course. Yeah.
Did they hook you up with a free copy, the folks at Sony, or?
What do you mean, the free?
Free copy of the game. I guess you already had it at that point, right?
Had it.
All right, well, 2024, take care of Colin over here. He's in the game. It's like EA Sports. It's in the game, it's in the game.
It's in the
So
game.
you brought up AJ Boston. Did you guys meet at your signing day at Citi Field?
Yes.
Have you guys been pretty tight since then?
Yeah. I mean, we're all high schoolers. Jake Satella's in there too, and we're all pretty close. Not that we're not close with the college guys too, but it's the high schoolers, we kind of stick together.
So that day that you guys all went to Citi Field, it was off camera. You were telling me you had a funny moment with Francisco Lindor.
Yes. It was really funny. So it was AJ and I were together for the physicals. And so we've been together all day. And then so we're talking with Andrew Christie. And so Francisco walks out of the tunnel and he sees us talking and he goes, hey boys, welcome to my office. And he looks up to the stadium and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So that was a really cool moment. And it's true. I mean, if you think about it, that really is his office. So
yeah,
it's a pretty crazy office.
That is an insane office.
It'll be your office one day also.
I hope so.
Let's go back to high school. One thing that a lot of people know about you, maybe some don't, you were a great football player as well, a great quarterback. Mm-hmm. It's something that you've seen in baseball over the years. Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, Todd Helton was Peyton Manning's backup at Tennessee. What do you think about the skill set it takes to play football and baseball translates across the 2 sports?
So for me, as a quarterback, I think there's different things that comes with it. Obviously, throwing the ball is, creating arm strength is definitely one of them. For me, throwing on the run made it a lot easier in football to have that baseball throwing an off balance throw, slow roller, stuff like that. The leadership aspect of being the quarterback definitely helps when you're the shortstop, leader of the infield, stuff like that. And the competitiveness is obviously there. 2 really competitive sports.
Right.
Stuff like that they kind of go hand in hand. So.
And at what point in your career in high school did you decide baseball is the path for me? I love football, but I'm going to go with baseball and really focus on that solely.
It was the summer after my junior year of high school, so going into my senior year, I was doing a lot of the events, like East Coast Bro area code, the PG National events, stuff like that. And during that, I was also trying to balance football, traveling and then coming back, missing football practice, stuff like that. But at that point, when I was doing these events, and I realized, I could have a shot to, to go pro or to at least have a chance to go pro, I always knew in my heart that I was a baseball kid, just because I never worked as hard at football as I did for baseball. So making the decision was hard, but I knew it was the right decision, and so that's kind of how it went down. Another thing is that I love practicing baseball. I love the grind, and football was fun, but I just didn't love it as much as I love baseball, and that's why. So.
And now you're here, you're part of the Mets, and it's got to be tough transitioning from high school baseball to full-on professional baseball. Mm-hmm. What was that first game like for you?
Definitely a lot of nerves. It's in high school you're facing 84, 85, sometimes the occasional 90. These guys are pumping mid-90s daily. You're going to see that every day, and so the adjustment of the level of baseball is definitely something I had to get used to. But I got the hang of it at the end, and I'm looking forward to being able to compete again. So.
And you joined a really hot FCL Mets team. I mean, you got to start off with a playoff game.
Yeah.
Like, how was it to join a team that already had so much talent? And then they're already good. Jon and I talk about the FCL Mets every night on our podcast. Mm-hmm. And we couldn't believe the talent that they already had, and then you and the rest of your boys come in at the same time and create this just super team.
Yeah.
What's that like?
It was awesome. I mean, obviously, coming into it, we knew, hey, these guys are hot. They're really good. You guys with them is going to be crazy, and that's what they told us. And then it actually happened, and we were like, we're pretty good. Being able to practice with those guys too, Baez, Enriquez, is being able to practice with them and learn from them and build a relationship with them is really, really cool. And being able to compete with them is just as cool. So
you guys are down here for a little longer. What are your goals going into the offseason? A big offseason for you is you'll be preparing for your first full year of pro ball in 2024.
Yeah. My biggest goal is to get stronger, get faster, finish up tweaking some things in my swing, obviously getting more in tuned with how my body's going to move and all that stuff mechanically. There's a lot of things that go into the offseason, conditioning, a bunch of different stuff. So I'm looking forward to all of it, and we've already started, the process of getting better. And but yeah, I can't wait.
And I know that we talked a little bit before we started. You're also looking forward to Dallas Cowboy football. Cowboy fan, got it out of him. So how many wins for the Cowboys this year? What are we thinking? What are we pegging them at?
I don't even know. I should tell the story that why I'm a Cowboys fan.
Please go ahead.
So growing up, my dad was always a Cowboys fan. So on Sundays when we were watching football, my dad's always rooting for the Cowboys. Me as a young kid, I just kind of joined with him. So
that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you missed the Michael Vick days of Atlanta.
Yeah.
There was kind of a lull there with the Falcons, so I can't blame you at all.
Yeah. And of course the Super Bowl with the Patriots.
Oh,
we don't need to talk
that
about
one.
We don't need to talk about
You talked
that.
to Boston about that ever?
I haven't.
No?
He's a big Patriots fan.
I know.
All Boston teams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Cowboys.
We need a number. And spring training will follow up. Either we'll see how you did with the guess.
As the Jets are Super Bowl champions and Jon and I are just fired up on Aaron Rodgers football.
I didn't say that. I just want to get back to the playoffs, but.
What did we go, 8-8 last year?
I think 9-8.
9-8?
Yeah, 17 games now.
Let's go. I'm gonna go 9-8 again.
Playoffs, or that's like right on the precipice.
I don't know.
You got
New
the
playoff
Eagles.
format, that's play.
You got the Eagles, the
playoffs.
Giants. The NFC's not that good this year.
The Eagles are pretty good.
The Eagles are good,
Yeah.
but a wild card spot is attainable, I think.
Yeah.
At 9-8.
I think so.
All right.
I'm gonna go with that.
You heard it right there. Playoff-bound Dallas Cowboys. All right. Well, one more question for you.
Okay.
Then we finish them up all the time like this. When you have that first plate appearance at Citi Field, what's the walk-up song going to be? Have you thought about it yet?
I haven't. That's a really good question. I I will say, in the playoff game in Clover Park, before my second AB, where I got my first hit of the game, Party in the USA, Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
I was like, I was on deck like, this is pretty good, you know.
It's fire.
Yeah, it was a great song.
You listen to her new song?
Huh?
You listen to her new song? Used to Be Young?
I haven't.
It's a banger.
Is it?
Yeah.
You a big Miley Cyrus guy?
Of course, man. I mean, I grew up on Hannah Montana.
Just a tip for AJ. Huge Swiftie.
Really?
Really?
Did he go to
Huge.
Eras?
Huh?
Did he go to Eras?
Of course.
Where was it? At Hard Rock down here?
No, he didn't go here. He went back in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it,
I think it was
got it.
Cincinnati, but
All right.
huge
That's a good
Swiftie.
note.
Yeah.
Very good note.
Huge Swiftie.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess that's one I could say is Part of the USA.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to hearing that one day, and thanks a lot for catching up.
Thank
and
you for
talking to
having
us,
me.
man.
Thanks, Colin.
Yes, sir.